Around 2000 BC, priests of Indo-European origin came to make a living in Anatolia. They quickly established a powerful empire in Asia Minor. By taming horses, inventing wheels and chariots, producing iron and steel, they created a brilliant civilization until they were destroyed and sunk into oblivion. Anatolia is a land blessed by nature, with many iron and copper mines and naturally grown cereals. Indo-European missionaries, along with the nomadic group, may have crossed the Bosphorus from Eastern Europe or crossed the Northern Caucasus before stopping in the center of Anatolia in the land of Hatti. From that place, people used to call the people of this area Hittites. After becoming powerful, in 1595 BC, the Hittites conquered Syria, Cyprus, and Babylon. Their strength and tenacious spirit allowed them to expand to the sea. 140 kilometers east of Turkey's ancient capital, Ankara, next to the current village of Bogazki, is the capital Hattusa of the Hittite Empire, Lamidi Nendur, 14th centuries BC, under the Hittite-Luwian dynasty. Not only were they found in its ruins archives of Hittite kings written in Indo-European and copied in angular script, but also traces of 5 temples and a castle located at the end were found. Towering high above, with a 6-kilometer surrounding citadel. The doors, especially the lion door, are decorated with beautiful sculptures. In the archives at that time, there were legal documents with full details and a treatise on horse research written in angular script, the Sumerian script that the Hittites applied. As early as the 15th century BC, the Hittites also had their own hieroglyphs, used in scriptures and royal seals. Up to now, people have not been able to bring to light all the secrets of this nation. But the strangest is a shrine located in a rock cavity in Yazilikaya, with 2 open-air rooms, 1,500 kilometers from Hattusa. On a limestone cliff, there are traces of sculptures of the procession of 12 gods offering sacrifices in the spring. King Hittite-Luwian, foreigner, in the 14th century BC, turned one of those 2 rooms into a temple to worship his father, King Tudaliya III. At Alaka Hoyuk, north of the present village of Bogaskoy, 2 cities were discovered on top of each other. One of the Hittite people, the oldest, and one of the Hittites, their invaders. Those 2 peoples at one time were neighbors, had their own languages, and lived in harmony until Hatti was completely conquered by the Hittites. Thus, people have discovered many tombs of Hatti princes dating from 2300 to 2000 BC. The princes were buried with their most precious belongings. People have found in this city objects made of gold, hats, crowns, vases, and bronze, 52 centimeters high deer, silver-plated rods, bison, leopards. The gates at the entrance to the city, 1400 BC, are protected by huge sphinxes carved on stone pillars. Hittite beliefs were influenced by neighboring countries, Babylon, Hittite, Syria. But their artistic creations had a distinct nuance. The gods radiate power and light. They are in the city and in the temples. The king also held the position of priest, and the priests were responsible for bathing, dressing, caring for, and entertaining the gods with music and dance. Before the gods, the king represented the entire people, and after his death he was honored as a god. The Hittites played an important role in importing domesticated horses into the East. It was a revolution in transportation. Before this revolution, transportation was still very primitive. For example, a wheel found in Mesopotamia, in 3500 BC, was a simple, solid wheel attached to a cart pulled and pointed by an ox, or onagray, a large breed of donkey, used to carry goods to castle or temple warehouses. When having to transport long distances, people often loaded on the back of an animal, or even on the back of a person. The domestication of horses gave rise to a new invention, light chariots with spoked wheels, as seen on bas-reliefs of that time. In the Temple Abu Simbel, in Upper Egypt, there is a fresco depicting a chariot battle between the forces of Pharaoh Ramesses and the army of Muwatalli, king of the Hittites. In this war, the Hittite army mobilized nearly 2,500 chariots with 7,500 soldiers. It was not until 1000 BC that horses were used for riding. and saddles appeared only in the 4th century AD. The Hittites surpassed other contemporary nations militarily and had a monopoly on iron production. At that time, iron was considered a rare metal. Egyptian pharaohs received iron objects as gifts from the Hittites. Next, I will help you learn more about the origins and mysteries of the ancient Hittite people. Known as the Hittites, this people prospered and rose in the land of Anatolia, much of which is located in what is now Turkey. From about the 17th century BC to the 12th century BC, the Hittites created one of the largest and most influential civilizations of ancient times. Their strategic geographical location, located at the heart of trade routes connecting Asia and Europe, as well as close to the Mediterranean Sea, played an important role in their development. This was a favorable condition for the Hittites to come into contact with neighboring civilizations and receive influence from Babylon, Egypt, and the peoples of Mesopotamia. Their century of prosperity was marked not only by territorial expansion, but also by a period of innovation in culture, language, and religion. They were not only powerful warriors, but also creative people, with a distinct writing system and language, the Hittite language, which was one of the world's oldest writing systems. With a combination of favorable geography and cultural diversity, the Hittites built a powerful empire that left a lasting legacy not only in ancient Asian history, but also as a foundation for the world's civilized development. The Hittites, living in an ancient period full of turmoil and conflict, created an empire with solid strength, along with far-reaching influences in the historical context of the ancient world. Known for their strong military capabilities, the Hittites not only fought to defend their territory, but also engaged in conflicts and alliances with other kingdoms, such as Egypt, Babylon, and Assyria. These wars and alliances created important changes in the geopolitics and trade of the ancient world. Cultural contact and cultural exchange between the Hittites and other civilizations created a symbol of cultural diversity, richness, and uniqueness. They not only inherited and developed traditional civilizations, but also made new contributions, from legal systems to architecture and language. This shaped a large part in the development of the ancient world, from social organization to international relations. The Hittites proved that they were not only a strong nation on the international stage, but also a contributor to the diversity and enrichment of world civilization. The Hittites were of ancient Anatolian origin, who established an empire centered at Hattusa in North Middle Eastern Anatolia around 1600 BC. The empire reached its peak in the mid-14th century BC under Suppiluliuma I, when it encompassed an area that included most of Anatolia as well as parts of the northern Levant and upper Mesopotamia. Between the 15th and 13th centuries BC, the Hittite Empire clashed with the Egyptian Empire, the medieval Assyrian Empire, and the Mitanni Empire for control of the Near East. The Assyrians eventually emerged as the dominant power and annexed much of the Hittite Empire, while the rest were dismissed by Phrygian newcomers to the region. After c. 1100 BC, during the Bronze Age, the Hittites flourished into many independent Neo-Hittite city-states, some of which lasted until the 8th century BC before falling into battle with the Neo-Assyrian Empire. The Hittites arose and developed from Indo-European communities, migrating and settling in Anatolia, now Turkey, around the 20th to 18th century BC. Their formation was not only a migration process, but also stemmed from cultural integration with local communities, such as the Hittite-Luwian and Luwian people. During their formation period, the Hittites absorbed and adopted many cultural elements from neighboring peoples. They integrated and developed civilizations, from agricultural techniques to architectural arts, from diverse religious systems to the adoption and development of languages and writing systems. This diversity and combination of cultural elements created a strong foundation for the development of Hittite civilization. Their formation is not only an integration, but also a creative process, creating a diverse ethnic team with distinct characteristics and unique cultural strength in the history of the ancient world. Kingships and expansion of the Hittite Empire. The Hittite dynasty witnessed an outstanding leadership from many famous kings and talented politicians who brought this empire to the peak of prosperity and power. Among the prominent rulers, Hattusili III is famous for his shrewd political maneuvering, restoring order after periods of chaos, and signing important treaties with Egypt, ushering in an era of peace. Peace and prosperity for the Hittites. He also defeated powerful enemies such as Assyria, opening the door for the empire to expand its territory and influence. Next, I will help you learn more about the origins and mysteries of the ancient Hittite people. Known as the Hittites, this people prospered and rose in the land of Anatolia, much of which is located in what is now Turkey. From about the 17th century BC to the 12th century BC, the Hittites created one of the largest and most influential civilizations of ancient times. Their strategic geographical location, located at the heart of trade routes connecting Asia and Europe, as well as close to the Mediterranean Sea, played an important role in their development. This was a favorable condition for the Hittites to come into contact with neighboring civilizations and receive influence from Babylon, Egypt, and the peoples of Mesopotamia. Their century of prosperity was marked not only by territorial expansion, but also by a period of innovation in culture, language, and religion. They were not only powerful warriors, but also creative people, with a distinct writing system and language, the Hittite language, which was one of the world's oldest writing systems. With a combination of favorable geography and cultural diversity, the Hittites built a powerful empire that left a lasting legacy not only in ancient Asian history, but also as a foundation for the world's civilized development. The Hittites, living in an ancient period full of turmoil and conflict, created an empire with solid strength, along with far-reaching influences in the historical context of the ancient world. Known for their strong military capabilities, the Hittites not only fought to defend their territory, but also engaged in conflicts and alliances with other kingdoms, such as Egypt, Babylon, and Assyria. These wars and alliances created important changes in the geopolitics and trade of the ancient world. Cultural contact and cultural exchange between the Hittites and other civilizations created a symbol of cultural diversity, richness, and uniqueness. They not only inherited and developed traditional civilizations, but also made new contributions, from legal systems to architecture and language. This shaped a large part in the development of the ancient world, from social organization to international relations. The Hittites proved that they were not only a strong nation on the international stage, but also a contributor to the diversity and enrichment of world civilization. The Hittites were of ancient Anatolian origin, who established an empire centered at Hattusa in North Middle Eastern Anatolia around 1600 BC. The empire reached its peak in the mid-14th century BC under Superlulium of Fur, when it encompassed an area that included most of Anatolia as well as parts of the northern Levant and upper Mesopotamia. Between the 15th and 13th centuries BC, the Hittite Empire clashed with the Egyptian Empire, the medieval Assyrian Empire, and the Mitanni Empire for control of the Near East. The Assyrians eventually emerged as the dominant power and annexed much of the Hittite Empire, while the rest were dismissed by Phrygian newcomers to the region. After c. 1100 BC, during the Bronze Age, the Hittites flourished into many independent Neo-Hittite city-states, some of which lasted until the 8th century BC before falling into battle with the Neo-Assyrian Empire. The Hittites arose and developed from Indo-European communities, migrating and settling in Anatolia, now Turkey, around the 20th to 18th century BC. Their formation was not only a migration process, but also stemmed from cultural integration with local communities, such as the Hittite-Luwian and Luwian people. During their formation period, the Hittites absorbed and adopted many cultural elements from neighboring peoples. They integrated and developed civilizations, from agricultural techniques to architectural arts, from diverse religious systems to the adoption and development of languages and writing systems. This diversity and combination of cultural elements created a strong foundation for the development of Hittite civilization. Their formation is not only an integration, but also a creative process, creating a diverse ethnic team with distinct characteristics and unique cultural strength in the history of the ancient world. Kingships and expansion of the Hittite Empire. The Hittite dynasty witnessed an outstanding leadership from many famous kings and talented politicians who brought this empire to the peak of prosperity and power. Among the prominent rulers, Hattusili III is famous for his shrewd political maneuvering, restoring order after periods of chaos, and signing important treaties with Egypt, ushering in an era of peace. Peace and prosperity for the Hittites. He also defeated powerful enemies such as Assyria, opening the door for the empire to expand its territory and influence. Suppiluliuma, successor of Hattusili III, was also a great leader, known for his excellent leadership abilities. He not only expanded the territory from the Levant to the eastern lands, but also occupied many new lands, increasing the influence and power of the Hittites. The empire's prosperity and stability during this period were both the result of these rulers' talented leadership and deep understanding of international politics. These kings were not only excellent politicians, but also creators, creating the foundation for the development of Hittite culture, knowledge, and trade. The civilizational legacy and influence they left behind continued to exist and spread to this day. The Hittite Empire saw a great expansion in territory and influence during their development. With the leadership of talented kings like Hattusili III and Suppiluliuma I, the empire occupied and controlled many new lands, from the Levant, Mediterranean region to the eastern region. Hattusili III, through signing peace treaties with Egypt and defeating powerful enemies such as Assyria, opened the door to Hittite territorial expansion, ensuring internal stability and establishing order after periods of chaos also facilitated this expansion. Suppiluliuma. I continued the work of Hattusili III and expanded the empire even further. He occupied and controlled many new lands, increasing the influence and power of the Hittites from the Levant to the eastern lands. This expansion not only opened up new trade opportunities, but also strengthened the position of the Hittites in the international community, making them one of the great powers of this region and leaving an extremely valuable legacy in history and culture of the ancient world. Wars and relationships with other kingdoms. The Hittite Empire witnessed many important wars over the course of their history. The war between the Hittite Empire and Egypt is a stirring piece of history and also reflects one of the most important conflicts in ancient history. During the 13th century BC, Egypt and the Hittites were locked in a series of long wars. The initial conflict began over territorial issues in the Levant region, over which both empires claimed control. The first clash strained relations between the two countries, leading to dramatic military confrontations. The Hittites, under the leadership of wise kings like Hattusili III, showed decisiveness in penetrating the Levant. They not only occupied strategic cities, but also promoted territorial expansion, threatening Egyptian territory. The war took place not only on the battlefield but also through fierce diplomatic negotiations. Fierce battles such as the decisive battle at Kadesh in 1274 BC, where Egypt and the Hittites met in a fierce battle, left a deep mark on history. The Battle of Kadesh ended not only with a clear victory for either side, but also through the signing of the Treaty of Kadesh, one of the first treaties recorded in world history. The Treaty of Kadesh marked the end of long-standing conflicts between the Hittites and Egypt and ushered in an era of peace and cooperation between the two great civilizations. The perseverance and diplomatic talent of both sides helped them overcome the challenge, creating the basis for a stable and commercial relationship between Egypt and the Hittites in later times. There was also another war that was also historic for the Hittites, the war with the Mitanni kingdom. The war between the Hittite Empire and the Mitanni kingdom was one of the most important conflicts in the history of the ancient world, creating great upheavals in East Central Asia. The Mitanni kingdom emerged as a powerful rival, and the relationship between the Mitanni and the Hittites frequently faced fierce competition. Conflicts not only take place on the battlefield, but also through diplomatic negotiations, territorial disputes, and regional power races. Hittites under the leadership of kings like Hattusili III and Suppiluliuma I faced fierce battles, sometimes in difficult terrain conditions of high mountains. This long war required not only military strength, but also strategic and diplomatic sophistication. During the conflict with Mitanni, the Hittites faced challenges from an opponent with a strong civilization and military force. However, perseverance and talented leadership strategies helped Hittites overcome difficulties and even win important victories in the confrontation. Ultimately, the war with Mitanni not only affected East Central Asia, but also created an important shift in the power structure in the region. While this conflict may have had consequences, it was also an integral part of the development and shaping of the history of the Hittite Empire. The conflict between the Hittite and Assyrian empires was also one of the prominent wars when these two great powers clashed, not only over territory, but also over influence and power. The Hittites, under the leadership of kings such as Suppiluliuma III, faced the might of Assyria, a powerful empire in the eastern region. This war is not only a struggle for territory, but also a confrontation between two civilizations and great influence. The battle between these two empires took place non-stop, from major battles on the battlefield to intense diplomatic negotiations. Assyria demonstrated strength with its powerful army and sophisticated military tactics, while the Hittites faced great challenges in maintaining their position in this confrontation. Although there were fierce battles, many times both sides made temporary treaties or agreements to keep the situation from escalating into full-scale war. The constant confrontation and fierce battles created a tense and difficult environment for both empires. The war between the Hittites and Assyrians created significant innovations and changes in East Central Asia, creating major upheavals in power structures and civilization. Despite many times facing challenges and difficulties, this war also honored the strength and resilience of both empires in maintaining and protecting their territories and positions. Therefore, through three major wars, the Hittites have summarized many diverse strategies and built a strong military foundation, such as flexible and diverse strategies. The Hittites often demonstrated strategic flexibility, willing to adapt and adjust tactics depending on the specific circumstances of each conflict. They do not rely only on numbers or strong military force, but also use smart strategies, including taking advantage of geographical advantages and reacting quickly to changes in the battlefield situation. Creativity in military tactics. The Hittites used a variety of tactics, from taking advantage of favorable terrain to using different types of weapons and armies. They often employ a wide range of military strategies, combining bold attacks and flexible defense strategies. Flexibility in diplomacy and negotiation. In addition to using military power, the Hittites also frequently made negotiations and treaties, especially after wars. They have good diplomatic abilities and often seek peaceful solutions through temporary agreements or long-term treaties to maintain stability and good relations with partners. Patience and playfulness. During historical wars, the Hittites showed patience and tolerance, especially in overcoming difficulties and challenges. Even when facing powerful opponents, they often do not hesitate to come up with new strategies and continue to confront, to protect their territory and position. Hittite Restorius, Tengontkuan Ando Lisan of the Hittites. The Hittites had a rich and diverse system of beliefs and religions, reflecting their cultural diversity and integration through many different periods. Their religion not only contributes to shaping their spiritual lives, but also influences cultural, social, and political aspects. The Hittites worshipped many gods and deities, and had a complex theology with diverse deities. The gods they worship are often related to nature, such as the sun god, the moon god, the god of the land, and the god of the sky. Each deity typically represents a specific aspect of nature or human life, and is revered through rituals and festivals. Hittite beliefs also included ancestor worship and worship, honoring historical and family pioneers. They believed that honoring these ancestors will bring protection and luck for present and future life. In addition, the Hittites also had sacred rituals and were very respectful of their rituals. Festivals often take place to honor gods, celebrate important historical events, or to pray for good harvests and good luck for the community. The Hittite religion was an important part of their life and culture, playing an important role in how they viewed the world and society around them. Their belief system is quite diverse and rich, reflecting the combination and reception from many different religious sources over time. The Hittites worshipped many gods and deities, each of whom often represented a particular aspect of nature, life, or power. The gods of the sun and moon, along with the gods of the land and natural phenomena, are often revered and worshipped. They believe that worshiping these gods will bring protection, luck, and good harvest to the community. In addition to worshiping nature gods, the Hittites also honored their ancestors, considering them as pioneers who contributed to building and protecting the community. Worshipping and honoring these ancestors is considered a way to maintain the connection between the present generation and the past and preserve traditions. Religious ceremonies and festivals often took place regularly, marking special occasions or cycles in the harvest season. These rituals were not only an occasion to honor the gods, but also to connect the community, showing solidarity and gratitude for the blessings bestowed upon them. Hittite religion was not only an integral part of daily life, but also an important part of the culture and reputation of the empire, contributing to shaping their cultural and ideological character over thousands of years. 1,000 years of history. The architecture of the Hittites reflects the richness and diversity of their civilization, incorporating diverse cultural elements and technical knowledge from neighboring regions. Under the influence of surrounding civilizations and receptions from many different origins, Hittite architecture often has its own unique characteristics, but also incorporates and influences from other civilizations. Outstanding Hittite architecture often includes stone sculptures and large structures built from stone or brick. Palaces and temples were often built with monumental architecture, often incorporating stone columns and intricately decorated walls with typical Hittite sculptures and patterns. One of the outstanding features of Hittite architecture is the use of buildings and palaces with complex and diverse geometric forms. The walls are often decorated with floral motifs, flexible carvings, and religious symbols. In addition, the Hittites also had underground structures and tunnel systems, some of which were believed to be used for military purposes or to connect palaces and other important facilities. The diversity and richness of Hittite architecture not only reflects the adoption and integration of elements from other civilizations, but also reflects their creativity and solid technical skills, creating a special mark in the history of ancient architecture. The art of the Hittites reflects the diversity and richness of their culture, incorporating many elements from neighboring civilizations and adoptions from many different origins. Hittite art is often expressed through sculpture, jewelry, and everyday artifacts, creating a special mark in the history of ancient art. Sculpture is one of the important features of Hittite art. Sculptures are often created from stone, wood, or metal, demonstrating sophistication and detail in each line. These works often depict deities, historical events, or religious symbols, and are exquisitely and intricately decorated. In addition, jewelry is also an indispensable part of Hittite art. They use gold, silver, copper, and precious stones to create diverse and beautiful jewelry. The jewelry was often designed with flexible motifs, geometric forms, and religious symbols, demonstrating the honor and importance of these elements to Hittite life and beliefs. The art of everyday objects of the Hittites also shows creativity and sophistication. Ceramic, bronze, and metal products are often meticulously decorated with floral motifs, geometric forms, and religious symbols, adding artistic value and beauty to common objects. Often, the daily life of the Hittites was often governed by agricultural, commercial, and religious activities, creating a rich and diverse cultural community. Agriculture plays an important role in their daily lives. They cultivate the land to grow wheat, rice, crops, and other crops, and take care of livestock such as cows, sheep, and goats. Agricultural and livestock production is the main source of food for the community and is also an important source of income through the trade of agricultural products. In addition to agricultural activities, trade also played a large role in the daily life of the Hittites. They often engaged in commercial activities with neighboring civilizations, exchanging goods such as silk, ceramics, metals, and handicrafts. Cities and trading centers became bustling places of commerce, leading to significant economic and cultural development for the Hittite Empire. Religion also plays an important role in their daily lives. Rituals and festivals often take place regularly to honor gods and ancestors, and are an opportunity to connect to the community and express gratitude for the good things bestowed upon them. In addition to political, economic, and religious activities, the daily life of the Hittites was also highly characterized by family and social values. Family plays an important role, with respect for the elderly and family traditions. They also value social relationships, creating a community environment of solidarity and mutual support. The Hittite legal system was an important part of how their society was organized and their country was governed. They established legal regulations to maintain social order, resolve disputes, and ensure fairness in cases. One of the important foundations of the Hittite legal system was the hukana, a set of laws and rules kept and enforced by officials and kings. Hukanana not only regulates crimes and punishments, but also regulates matters of property, marriage, family, and inheritance. The Hittite judicial system often included the use of judicial councils, in which officials and prominent people in the community acted to decide cases. This council can decide cases ranging from small disputes to larger cases, and can impose different penalties depending on the nature and extent of the crime. A notable feature of the Hittite legal system was its respect for the principle of justice and careful consideration in decision-making. They often have clear rules and transparent legal procedures to ensure people are dealt with fairly and lawfully. The Hittite legal system not only helped maintain social order, but also demonstrated respect for the principle of justice and the rights of individuals in the community. This has played an important role in maintaining the stability and reliability of their social and political systems. Hittite society often reflected diversity and complexity in their organization and social structure, incorporating diverse classes, castes, and roles within the community. The aristocracy and mandarins played an important role in Hittite society. Powerful and wealthy people often occupy high positions in the social structure, participating in the management and administration of the country. Mandarins and nobles were also often considered prestigious figures, playing important roles in resolving disputes and deciding policy. In addition to the aristocracy, Hittite society also included working classes, including craftsmen, farmers, and workers. These working classes are often people who work hard to produce food and goods for the community, making important contributions to the economy and society. Hittite society also had a clear division between men and women. Men often take on roles in foreign affairs, military affairs, and leadership positions, while women are often responsible for family management, child care, and housework. The family played an important role in Hittite society, respected as the fundamental pillar of the community. The extended family model is common, in which generations live in the same house and share responsibilities and resources. In short, Hittite society reflected diversity in class structure, gender roles, and the important role of family. This diversity played an important role in the shaping and development of the Hittite civilization in ancient times, language and literary culture. The language of the Hittites, known as Old Hittite, is an important part of their cultural heritage. This is one of the ancient languages widely known through remaining wills, contracts, and ancient documents. Their writing system is known as the Hittite alphabet, an ancient writing system with about 500 different characters. The Hittite language belongs to the Anatolian language group of the Indo-European language family. Although ancient Hittite is only known through a few remaining ancient documents, it has played an important role in understanding Hittite culture and history. The Hittite language has a complex and varied grammatical system, with rules for how words and sentences are formed and arranged. It also has influences from many other languages of the Mediterranean and Middle East, reflecting cultural contact and exchange between the Hittites and other peoples. Although only a handful of documents written in the ancient Hittite language remain, efforts to decipher and translate these documents have helped researchers better understand the language, culture, and history of the Hittite people. This has helped expand knowledge of this ancient civilization and contributed to our understanding of the ancient world. Famous literary works and their impact. The Hittites left behind a number of valuable literary works, although very few survive today. In these ancient works, there are wills, historical records, and stone inscriptions on city walls, all of which play an important role in understanding their culture, beliefs, and history. One of the most famous Hittite works is the Testament of King Hattusili III, an important work because it provides detailed information about the life and history of the Hittite Empire, including its military victories and diplomatic relations with neighboring kingdoms. This will also contain curses against those who violated the will and expressed views on power and morality in Hittite society. In addition, the Van Lang Agreement Memorandum is an important document, recording an agreement between Hittite King Mursili II and King Duppi-Teshub of the Amurru Kingdom. This record is not only a historical document, but also a testament to diplomatic relations and the power of the Hittite Empire in maintaining peace and relations with other kingdoms. The literary works of the Hittites are not only a valuable source of documents, but also have a profound impact on their lives and thoughts. They demonstrated respect for royal authority, social morality, and relations between kingdoms, contributing to the civilization and society of the Hittite Empire. Although only a few remain, these works have had a profound impact on understanding Hittite culture and history, Hittite legacy and influence, relics, and historical sites of the Hittite people. Today, the Hittite legacy includes a wide range of literary documents, wills, historical documents, sculptures, architecture, and archaeological artifacts, exuding the beauty and vitality of this ancient civilization. Among notable legacies, wills and historical documents are the most valuable documents, including the will of King Hattusili III and the transcript of the Treaty of Van Lang. These records not only provide information about the history and international relations of the Hittites, but also express their philosophy, ethics, and rights, power in Hittite society. Their architecture is also an important part of their heritage, with the ruins of cities, castles, and temples still standing. A typical example is the city of Hattusa, capital of the Hittite Empire, with ruins of city walls and palaces considered symbols of their wealth and power. In addition, sculptures and archaeological artifacts are also important parts of their cultural heritage. Statues of gods, jewelry, tools, and everyday objects show the progress in art and technology of the Hittites. The Hittite heritage is not only physical artifacts, but also cultural heritage, such as the Hittite language and the Hittite alphabet writing system. Efforts to preserve, translate, and better understand these documents and heritage not only help us better understand the Hittites, but also contribute to preserving and sharing this ancient cultural knowledge with the world. Next system. Hittite historical sites today are often archaeological ruins, architectural heritage sites and museums that house their precious artifacts. Although many sites have been erased and destroyed by time, there are still a number of notable sites that tourists and researchers can still explore. Hattusa, the ancient capital of the Hittite Empire, is an important historical site located in the Anatolia region of present-day Turkey. With a history spanning thousands of years, this city was once the political, cultural, and economic center of the Hittites. The ruins of Hattusa record the beauty and power of this ancient empire. The ancient citadel, with its surrounding wall system, shows the grandeur and power of the ancient empire. Palaces, temples, and other structures from ancient times are also great vestiges of the cultural and artistic progress of the Hittites. Hattusa is not only an important political and military center, but also a place where many valuable literary documents and cultural heritage of the Hittites are kept. Wills historical documents and archaeological artifacts unearthed here provide valuable information about their lives, beliefs, and history. Today, Hattusa is one of the important tourist and research destinations, attracting tourists and archaeologists with its ancient ruins and precious documents. This is where visitors can step into the ancient world, explore the civilization and long-standing cultural heritage of the Hittites. Alakahoyuk is an important archaeological site located in Anatolia in present-day Turkey that has played an important role in the discovery and better understanding of Hittite civilization and cultural heritage. Discovered in the early years of the 20th century, Alakahoyuk has brought magnificent discoveries about ancient heritage. During the excavation process, many precious artifacts were found, especially bronze statues and artifacts from the ancient Bronze Age, helping us better understand the art and beliefs of the Hittites. Alakahoyuk is not only an archaeological site, but also an open-air museum of cultural heritage. The discoveries and research here have made an important contribution to increasing knowledge about the ancient civilization and cultural practices of the Hittites. Boğazköy, also known as Hattusa, is an important historical Hittite site located in the Anatolia region of present-day Turkey. Considered a place to store many valuable historical and literary documents of the Hittites, Boğazköy plays an important role in understanding the culture, beliefs, and history of this ancient empire. It served as the Hittite headquarters for centuries, with monuments documenting the empire's power and prosperity. Testaments, literary documents, and other archaeological finds have been unearthed here, providing valuable information about Hittite life, culture, and beliefs. Boğazköy is also famous for preserving the will of King Hattusili III, one of the most important historical documents of the Hittites. Inscribed on stone and containing secrets about the empire's history, military exploits, and moral philosophy, this document is an extremely valuable source of information. The Museum of Anatolian Civilizations, located in Ankara, Türkiye, is an important destination for those interested in learning about the Hittites and ancient Anatolian civilization. Considered a precious heritage treasure, this museum contains thousands of artifacts and cultural relics from many dynasties, especially about the Hittites. With its diverse collection of sculptures, Bronze Age relics, Hittite tablets, and artifacts from other ancient empires in the region, this museum offers a comprehensive view of Hittite civilization and history. Testaments, literary documents, and everyday objects are all on display, helping visitors better understand the daily life, beliefs, and philosophies of the Hittites. In addition, the museum also preserves many relics and artifacts from other civilizations, spanning thousands of years of Anatolian history, from the Paleolithic period to the Byzantine and Ottoman periods. Preserving and displaying these heritage sites not only helps visitors better understand ancient culture, but also demonstrates the diversity and richness of this region's cultural history. As a research and education center, the museum regularly organizes temporary exhibitions and educational activities to spread knowledge about Anatolian civilization, contributing to the spread of culture and historical heritage. History of the Hittites to the wider public. The cultural and social influence of the Hittites on the world today. The Hittite language, although long extinct, still has considerable influence in the field of linguistics and in furthering the understanding of the languages of the Indo-European family. The Hittite language has made an important contribution to building the foundation for research on the Indo-European language system. Comparing the Hittite language with other languages has helped linguists better understand the development and relationships between languages in this system. The Hittite language provides a valuable literary resource for researchers of ancient languages. The analysis of the language's syntax, grammatical structure, and vocabulary has opened up new approaches to learning and understanding other ancient languages. By studying texts written in the Hittite language, one can better understand the life, culture, and beliefs of the Hittites. Testaments, historical documents, and ancient literature in the Hittite language play an important role in recreating and exploring their culture. Although the Hittite language no longer exists in everyday life, its influence continues to exist in the field of linguistic research and in better understanding the ancient culture of the Hittites. As an important part of the world's linguistic heritage, the Hittite language still plays an important role in expanding our knowledge and understanding of the ancient world. The Hittite writing system, also known as the Hittite alphabet, although no longer in use thousands of years ago, still plays an important role in understanding the language, culture, and history of the Hittite people, as well as seems to have a certain influence on the world today. The Hittite alphabet provides a valuable resource in the study of ancient Hittite culture. Reading and understanding texts written in the Hittite alphabet helps us better understand their beliefs, customs, history, and social life. The Hittite alphabet provides an important basis for the study of classical linguistics. The complexity and diversity of this alphabet has helped researchers better understand the linguistic structure and relationships between the Hittite language and other languages in the Indo-European language system. The Hittite alphabet has played an important role in the development of research on ancient writing systems. It helps us better understand the development and evolution of the writing system in human history. Although no longer used in everyday communication, the influence of the Hittite alphabet still exists in the fields of linguistic research, ancient culture, and human history. It is an important part of the world's cultural and linguistic heritage, playing a role in expanding understanding and knowledge of ancient cultures. Hittite civilization and ethics, while not as widespread as other great civilizations, still made important contributions to the world today. The Hittites had quite developed legal regulations and governance systems, reflected in wills and signed contracts. The principles of power and justice can be found in dispute management and resolution, contributing to the development of a modern legal system. The Hittites placed great importance on education and military education, laying the foundation for imparting knowledge and higher education. Moral principles such as loyalty, respect, and kindness are still valued and influence education and morality today. Hittite religion was diverse and influenced other faiths in the region. Respecting and maintaining religious rituals has contributed to the richness and diversity of beliefs in religious history. Although no longer in existence, the cultural and ethical heritage of the Hittites still influences the world today. The moral and legal values transmitted by the Hittites still play an important role in the formation and development of modern civilizations, contributing to humanity's progress and understanding of values. Basic of life. The influence of Hittite architecture and art, although not as widespread as some other great civilizations, still made important contributions to the world today. Few preserved Hittite architectural monuments can be seen, but the remaining traces still show the uniqueness and creativity of their architecture. Architectural works such as city gates, temples, and palaces influenced later architectural styles, contributing to the development of modern architectural styles. Hittite sculpture is often decorative and symbolic. Sculptures in bronze and stone recorded images of their lives beliefs, and history. These elements can be seen in contemporary art and decorative design today. The Hittites often incorporated artistic styles and elements from other civilizations, creating a unique and diverse blend of their art. This combination can be seen in modern works of art and architecture, contributing to enriching the global art landscape. Although no longer extant, Hittite architecture and art still influence the world today. This influence is reflected in the diversity and creativity of modern architectural styles, art and decorative designs contributing to enriching humanity's cultural heritage. Research into the history and culture of the Hittites has a huge influence on today's world, providing valuable information and insight into an important ancient civilization. The study of the Hittites has opened an important window into understanding human history. Archaeological remains, historical documents, and texts written in the Hittite alphabet have provided valuable information about their life, culture, society, and military affairs. The Hittite language and ancient written documents have provided an important foundation for the study of ancient linguistics and corpus. A clear understanding of the language's syntax, phonetics, and grammar opened the door to a deeper understanding of other classical language systems. Research on the Hittites has provided detailed information about their ancient beliefs, religious practices, and culture. This has implications for a better understanding of religious and cultural diversity in human history. Access to Hittite research has opened up opportunities to learn and develop knowledge in the fields of history, culture, and language. Researchers, scholars, and students have the opportunity to explore and contribute to expanding knowledge about these precious cultural heritages. The influence of Hittite research not only expands knowledge but also contributes to a better understanding of human history and culture. The preservation and study of this cultural heritage keeps historical values from being forgotten and contributes to the development of human knowledge. The ancient Hittite civilization is not only of historical importance, but also has profound significance in understanding the development of humanity. Cultural and belief diversity. With their mixture and creativity in culture and religion, the Hittites created a rich cultural and belief system. This makes sense in understanding the diversity and interaction of ancient civilizations. Unique cultural and artistic heritage, the ancient works of art, sculpture, and architecture of the Hittites are an important part of the world's cultural heritage. They are an endless source of inspiration for modern artists and architects. Influence in historical and linguistic research. The existence of the Hittite language and ancient written texts opened the door to the study of classical linguistics and human history. This has important implications for understanding the relationships and developments of ancient civilizations, development of law and administration. The Hittites made important contributions to the development of the system of law and administration. The principles of justice and authority had a profound influence on later civilizations. The importance and significance of the ancient Hittite civilization is not only about cultural heritage, but also about expanding knowledge and understanding of human development. Their diversity and creativity have contributed to enriching the world's civilizational heritage, while also laying the foundation for understanding the development of human civilization. Located in Anatolia, present-day Türkiye, the Hittite civilization prevailed from around the 17th to 12th centuries BC. Known for their development, the Hittites were the result of cultural mixing between the Caucasian migrants and the locals. The openness of the Anatolian plains opened up opportunities for them to build a large-scale empire. The Hittites had a developed system of governance and law, as can be seen in wills and contracts. This is an important contribution to understanding how they managed their territory and resolve social disputes. At their peak, the Hittite Empire had strong leaders such as Suppiluliuma III and Hattusili III, important figures who shaped and expanded the empire through skillful military and political strategy. They participated in many tense wars with other kingdoms such as Egypt, Mitanni, and Assyria, contributing to creating interesting and controversial pages of history. The Hittite civilization is also famous for its diverse religions and beliefs, shown through their typical gods and religious rituals. This has created a unique and rich cultural heritage. In addition, Hittite architecture, art, and language also made their mark on history. Hittite monuments, works of art, and tablets provide valuable information for the study of classical linguistics and human history. The influence of the Hittite civilization remains on the study of human history, language, and culture, playing an important role in better understanding ancient civilizations and human development type.